Welcome, everybody, to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about WWE Monday Night Raw review from September 30th, 2024. I do apologize about the late tardiness for this review. I had some things I had to take care of with the house that I just moved into this past weekend, and had to have dinner and so forth. So um I'm a little late. And then I tried to start up this review and everything went haywire for me for some strange fucked up reason. Kept saying going live, and yet it didn't go live at all. It just had me in a waiting point or whatever. Anyway, guys, last night's Raw was actually a good show. I enjoyed it. It was a good final 3 hours of Monday Night Raw that we won't see for a while. Hopefully, on Netflix, it will only be 2 hours, maybe a little over 2 hours, like 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, somewhere in that range, but nowhere near the 3 hour time frame that they normally go on USA Network. Apparently, SmackDown in January will be going 3 hours. How exciting! Makes me want to bash my head up against a wall. But Raw last night was a good show. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman killed it with the surprise of Seth Rollins, causing Bronson Reed to lose the match, making sense of everything that was taking place. Made a lot of sense that Seth Rollins came back to curb stomp Bronson Reed's head through the steps. The ring imploded, and it didn't have that same exact impact that it normally did. So it was a little bit of a disappointment, but at the end of the day, I don't think they really need to break the ring anymore. It's been done so many times, it's just becoming repetitive and kind of silly. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, they cut a excellent promo, very intense, dark promo on each other. I enjoyed that. That was a good way of closing things out. They also had the Hell in a Cell around them when they were inside the ring, cutting the promo to give us that last bit of time of, you know, kind of just giving us an idea, uh, just kind of illustrating that they are going to hell and they're going at it inside the Hell in a Cell, which should be a great match, should be the main event. I can't imagine this match actually opening the show. That would be so silly. I mean, I could imagine being in the middle of the show, like the third match in the show, but to be the first match, I can't see it. I see at Bad Blood, I see the Hell in a Cell match being the main event with Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. I see Cody and Roman Reigns opening the show against the Bloodline in this tag team matchup. And I see the world title being like right in the middle of the show. And then we got the women's championships on either side of the world title match. And Drew McIntyre, or not Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest and Finn Balor will probably be the match just before the main event. That's how I kind of see how this is going to play out on the show. But overall, like I said, this was a good show. Apparently, Braun Breaker's now a baby face from what I saw last night. Jey Uso was very happy celebrating his first singles title run in his career as an IC champion. This was really good. Braun Breaker came out, said, hey, I got a lot of respect for you. They shook hands. No harm, no foul was done to Jey Uso. He didn't come out to spear him. He went ahead and he congratulated him, shook his hand, and Jey Uso showed the same respect back, saying that there's fans out there that there's some dogs out there for you, and the fans started barking for Braun Breaker. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's what opened the show. Sami Zayn finally convinced Gunther to defend his title against Sami Zayn for the world title. So that took place. That wasn't terrible. I'm just gonna cut a really short video here. I'm not doing a long one. Honestly, there's not a lot of people in here. This is my first time back in about a week. So it's not going to be super long or anything like that. So let's get into the review. Let's see here. See how Jey Uso opened the show. Next, the first match on the show was actually, well, before they had the first match earlier today, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan was outside with Dominic Mysterio by his lowrider. JD McDonough and Carlito were wondering if they'd seen Finn Balor. Mysterio called Balor on the phone. Balor said he was having travel issues, but that issue Morgan wanted to take care of was handled. Mysterio then Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods' match took place. Xavier Woods actually won this match, which I believe he was going to, with a little bit of cheating. Apparently, quote unquote, accidentally knocked off the mask of Rey Mysterio and caused Rey Mysterio to lose the matchup altogether. And he rolled him up and pinned him 1, 2, 3, and that's how that match ended. He made it look like it was an accident, but deep down, I know it's not. Obviously. Woods leaves the ring and looks worried. Woods shouts, didn't mean to. Mysterio is upset with him. And that's how that portion of the segment ended. Backstage, we had Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler walk up to Lyra Valkyrie backstage. Deville says Valkyrie has a big match against Zoe Stark. It's a shame that she'll be out there all alone without Natalya and Zelina Vega. Shayna Baszler was actually kind of playing around with cards for some strange reason, which was very awkward and weird, honestly. Anyway, Deville and Baszler will be out there. Valkyrie doesn't have have to worry about Baszler. She doesn't bite unless Deville tells her to, and they walk off while she's playing around with cards. Big fucking whoop. Anyway, a mysterious logo is shown. The voice says to prepare yourself. I think that has something to do with the Viking Raiders, or the War Raiders, as they should be called now. Backstage, Kofi Kingston catches up with Xavier Woods and asks if he purposely pulled Mysterio's mask off, and Woods says he would never do that. Woods respects Mysterio. Woods was hoping Kingston would congratulate him, and Kingston congratulates him, though. And Kingston says that speaking of opportunities, Jey Uso offered him an IC title match next week on Raw, and Woods says he'll be by his side as he climbs the mountaintop. Kingston says Woods won't be by his side because he told Uso it should be Woods, so Woods has the match. Woods is fired up and says he can beat Jey Uso. As for tonight, he'd like to be Kingston's side, be by Kingston's side against Chad Gable tonight. Kingston says they'll go 2 for 2 tonight because New Day rocks, and Karrion Kross was watching from the background the whole time. Karrion Kross actually was able to convince Miz to turn heel here tonight, and he turned heel very quickly. Lyra Valkyria versus Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark wins the match. I'm not impressed with this fucking show. Pure Fusion Collective surrounds Valkyria, but Katana Chance Wearing a face guard and Caden Carter run down for the save. They lay DeVille and Baszler beside each other and hit the kickstand. And Chance and Carter are fired up. Wow. Like, I fucking care. Anywho, GM Adam Pearce is talking to an army of security guards. Pearce says he wants that match kept in the ring. CM Punk enters in the frame and walks by him. Okay. Jackie Redmond is backstage with Caden Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria. Chance says they broke her face and they'll get revenge against Pure Fusion Collective. Once they're done with them, they'll get their women's tag titles back. The Unholy Union walks up to them and says the titles belong to them, and a rate Chance is held back. Wow. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre speak before their Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. GM Adam Pearce is in the ring with several security guards. The Hell in a Cell structure surrounds them. Part of his professional responsibility is the delivery of main events and special attractions. This Saturday at Bad Blood, he plans on delivering one hell of a special attraction. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will go war inside Hell in a Cell. After the match, it will be over. To get to Saturday, they'll have to make it through tonight. There'll be no physical battle between Punk and McIntyre in Evansville, Indiana. The crowd boos. Pearce has given them the opportunity to give one final shot in this bitter war, and blah, 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 blah. CM Punk is introduced first. The Second City Saint looks like he's in a trance as he slowly approaches the Hell in a Cell structure. Punk sobbingly reaches out, touches the cell's steel wall, and enters the structure. Punk climbs briefly up the side of one of the walls before getting down. Punk gets in the ring and shakes hands with Pearce. Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre is introduced next. McIntyre is with a stony look on his face, makes his way to the ring and enters the Hell in a Cell structure. Punk stares at his rival for the better part of 2024. Security guards stand between them. Pearce asks if they have any last words. McIntyre says he'll go first. A CM Punk chant picks up, and McIntyre says that Punk might be wondering why he's wearing black. It's not out of respect for Punk. Mysterio McIntyre has zero respect for Punk. It's out of respect for his wife. After Saturday, she'll have to feed and bathe him. She'll probably leave him. And McIntyre says this is a tuxedo because he'll be celebrating when he's gone. Punk isn't coming back this time. Punk has been back less than a year. He's been injured for 4 months. Now he's been gone for good. It's all thanks to Drew McIntyre. People have watched for 10 months, and even after all the evidence, they still chant Punk's name. Another Punk chant breaks out. Roxanne Perez, the NXT champion, idolized Punk. After spending some time with him, she changed her tune. McIntyre can see the hatred burning through Punk, and once upon a time, he was nothing but a bleep on Punk's radar. Punk hates him, and McIntyre hates Punk. McIntyre used to have no time for hate, but Punk taught him how to do it. Hate is a powerful weapon, but it's dangerous in the long term. This Saturday, that hate will die with Punk. McIntyre goes to leave, but he stops when he sees Punk take the microphone. Throughout his career, people have called him many things: the best in the world, the Second City Saint, and the voice of the voiceless. Tonight, Punk is voiceless. He has nothing to say to a piece of garbage like McIntyre, except that he's filled with so much rage when he looks at him. Punk can't go home. He's actually living inside of a hotel for the last 4 weeks because he can't subject his wife to the man McIntyre has turned him into. McIntyre has turned him into the vicious boogeyman that his harshest critics have labeled him. That's who he needs to be on Saturday inside Hell in a Cell to send McIntyre home to Scotland in a box. That was a very good line. Punk wants McIntyre to remember and never forget that he prayed for all of this and it happened. On Saturday, he's locked inside the cell, and that everything he prays for won't be to a god, to a Satan, or anything else. He will be praying to CM Punk to not kill him at the end of all of this. So that's pretty much what happened in that whole entire segment. I thought it was excellent. Thought very well put together stuff by both men. They did a very good job of telling their story of how they feel and what they're going to do when they get inside Hell in a Cell. It's guaranteed that both of them will be bleeding. Will we be seeing a lot of blood? I don't think so. I mean, again, this is a WWE program. I imagine there will be some sort of bleeding, but not to the levels of buckets of blood coming out of their foreheads. But I do imagine there's going to be some blood taking place at the end of the day. We've seen enough blood from Punk. I think McIntyre will bleed, but also Punk will bleed as well. That's what I think is going to happen. So, yeah. Kathy Kelly's backstage with Braun Strowman. She asks him if he's feeling trepidatious heading into this match. Strowman says he doesn't know what the word means, and The Miz walks up. Last week, he had a match with Bronson Reed, but Strowman interrupted it, and then R-Truth walks up. This is his first appearance since Reed injured him, and Strowman says he has a massive match. They started these problems, and he'll finish it. Strowman walks off, and Miz asks R-Truth what he's doing here, and R-Truth says he works here. Miz asks, why didn't he tell him? R-Truth says he doesn't know. R-Truth texted Pierce since he's been getting picked on by Karrion Kross. They'll be taking on AOP, which is AOP. Apparently, R-Truth doesn't seem to know the names of the people on the show. Miz says it's the Authors of Pain. R-Truth didn't realize that, but says the awesome truth is back, and Miz doesn't look that thrilled. Judgment Day makes their way to the ring. They'll battle the LWO next. Sorry. Anyway, Kathy Kelly's backstage with Sami Zayn. Zayn says it hurts to be rejected, and he told he's not on someone's level, but Zayn knows he's good, how good he is. Zayn will not stop until he gets his chance at Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. This Saturday, Finn Balor will battle Damian Priest, and Liv Morgan will defend her women's world title. Okay, so they have a 6-man tag team matchup with Dominic Mysterio, Colloido, and JD McDonough against Liv Morgan. Against Dragon Lee, Jaquan Wilde, and Cruz del Toro. Of course, Judgment Day walk away with this victory. They weren't going to lose going into a pay-per-view like this. Sorry, I'm kind of out of the picture there. Do apologize. Let me fix that real quick. All right. So, anywho. Judgment Day stands tall in the ring. The LWO is irate at ringside. And the Judgment Day is still in the ring. They are doing a group hug, and Balor turns and looks into the camera. He heard what Damian Priest said last week about ripping his heart out. Priest should know he doesn't have a heart. At Bad Blood, he'll prove to the world that it was Priest who needed the Judgment Day. Priest needed Balor, and Judgment Day never needed Damian Priest. Women's World Champion Liv Morgan says she'll prove that she is a home-wrecking, man-stealing, heartbreaking, title-taking, greatest women's world champion of all time. The crowd loudly boos her at Bad Blood, Daddy Dom will, and then This Is Brutality, the entrance of Rhea Ripley. And then Rhea Ripley makes her way to the ring, says she was with Dominic Mysterio for a long time. She knows all his dirty little secrets. She asked the production crew to bring out the shark cage for dramatic effect. Shark cage is brought out, and Ripley says Mysterio is extremely claustrophobic. At Bad Blood, when he's locked inside this shark cage, crying and soiling himself in his brand new merch, he'll have the best seat in the house to watch his new girlfriend realize she's not good as Ripley. And Mysterio will watch as she wins back the championship she never lost. As for tonight, she's done talking. Damian Priest sneaks into the ring, takes out Carlito and McDonough. Priest then attacks Baylor. Mysterio and Morgan try to escape, but Ripley headbutts Morgan down, and Ripley sends Mysterio into the barricade and throws him into the shark cage. Morgan tries to attack her, but Ripley scares her away, and Ripley runs back and kicks Mysterio before opening the door. Mysterio begs her for mercy, but she throws him into the cage anyway. Mysterio puts his feet up to stop her from closing the door, and Morgan attacks Ripley from behind. They get into a brawl on the stage. In the ring, Priest powers Baylor to the corner and punches McDonough and Carlito away. Baylor hits Priest with a sling blade and a woo drop kick. Priest regains his bearings and knocks Carlito down. Baylor hits a reverse DDT to take Priest down. McDonough and Carlito hold Priest up, and Baylor hits another woo drop kick and heads to the top rope. Baylor hits the coup de grace, and Baylor goes back to the top rope and hits another. Baylor heads up to the top rope for a third and hits a third attempt. Priest is in a lot of pain and holds his midsection. The Judgment Day stands tall over him, and that's how that segment ends. Video shows Sheamus says the only thing worse than getting cracked with a bat is having it done by a man he used to consider a brother. Sheamus still thinks of him as Butch, and Pete Dunne has taken it too far and is on the wrong side of a fight night. Dunne is a dangerous little bastard. If he wants to play rough, and he can do that, Sheamus challenges him to a final banger. And Sheamus wants a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. And Sheamus says, so what do you say, Butch? And that's pretty much it. American Made makes their way to the ring. Chad Gable will battle Kofi Kingston next. And actually, Pete Rose has passed away yesterday at 83 years old. Wow. That is some crazy shit. I couldn't believe that. I didn't even know that Pete Rose passed away until last night. That really shocked the hell out of me, honestly. So, yeah. Anyway, next up, we had Chad Gable and Kofi Kingston going at it. Chad Gable actually wins with the help of Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods accidentally cost Kofi Kingston the match. It helped Chad Gable get the W here. Chad Gable actually connected with his finishing German suplex pinning combination, and Kofi Kingston couldn't kick out and lost the match. Next up, we had footage is shown of Seth Rollins appearing on Sunday Night Football last night on NBC. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Liv Morgan also appeared at various football games. Okay. Jackie Redmond's backstage with Bronson Reed. Reed congratulates Seth Rollins and hopes he comes back. Speaking of the devil, he actually did. Reed took months off of his career. Next time, he'll take years off of his life. As for Braun Strowman, Reed apologizes for exposing him as the man he is. Reed is the last monster standing. Another segment with GM Adam Pearce is talking to WWE officials. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther walks by him. We'll hear from Gunther next. Wyatt Six actually have a video and a mysterious video. The video says, "We see your intent, anger festering into rage. Do not go down this path. It ends in your demise. You know better. Do not force our hand. Heed our admonition." Another QR code is shown, and a veiled woman is shown. The veil falls off, and for a brief moment, it looks like Alexa Bliss is staring into the camera. I don't know if that is true or not. I didn't actually catch that when it was live. I'd have to go back and watch it. I was kind of in my phone and not really paying much attention. Gunther makes his way to the ring. He says life as world champion has been fantastic. Gunther loves every aspect. Being the top guy, the luxuries, the money, and the amenities. The one thing he hates is the insults he has to deal with from Sami Zayn every week. Gunther could not ask for anyone more annoying. Couldn't ask for anyone more annoying than Sami Zayn. Zayn comes out to the stage. Zayn says if Gunther finds it annoying to deal with every week, there's a very easy way to put an end to all of this. Zayn gets in the ring. All Gunther has to do is give him what he keeps asking for. Zayn wants Gunther to put the world title on the line, and Zayn says that Gunther won't do it. Zayn knows why. He thinks that Gunther knows deep down. Zayn tells him to admit it. Gunther says he tried to tell Zayn and beat it into him. Zayn isn't on his level. Zayn asks if he's not on Gunther's level, then how did he beat him at WrestleMania? Gunther beat everyone they put in front of him except him. Zayn pinned Gunther, and Zayn says that Gunther is scared it will happen again. And that makes a lot of sense. Gunther thinks that it for a few moments and looks at Zayn angrily. The crowd chants, "You're a coward." And Gunther says Zayn is right. He is afraid. Gunther is not afraid of Zayn. Gunther is afraid for his reputation. After all the legendary things he did with the IC title, losing to the better man would have been no problem. Losing to Zayn has been the biggest embarrassment of his career. Gunther was so busy embarrassing Zayn in front of his family that Zayn did it to him. Gunther also flew his family in, but he didn't parade them around for sympathy. Once it was all done, he had to go back and look at his father in the eye, and Gunther states what his father said in German, and Gunther had to look his father in the eye as he told him he flew from Germany to Philadelphia to watch him lose to that bum. And Zayn's family is used to seeing him fail. Zayn's family doesn't expect anything from him. His family expects everything from him. Gunther is the golden goose of his family. He is Gunther. He is special. He is something Zayn will never be, the world heavyweight champion. Zayn says Gunther is right about something. His family has watched him lose and get knocked down many times. Zayn always picks himself up and moves forward. What did Gunther do when he lost in front of his family? Gunther crumbled. Gunther didn't ask for a rematch. Gunther tucked his tail between his legs, hid away, disappeared from TV. WWE TV for months, and Gunther didn't show his face because he couldn't. It's all because his father made him feel like a loser. Now Gunther is showing his father that he's also a coward. Gunther becomes irate and clotheslines him down. Great way to make Gunther finally accept this matchup. I think this was a good pathway to getting to making sense of all these denials of, defending his title and then finally bringing his dad into it and then saying, well, you went from being a loser to now being a coward. And that pissed Gunther off, and now he's got his match. And he viciously attacked him before giving him the match and power bombed him as well. And that's how that ended. Tag team match with Awesome Truth, with Miz and R-Truth against the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. Akam and Razor end up winning this match, obviously. Nothing really special here. Miz just turned on R-Truth at the end of all this, and they win the matchup. And that's all, pretty much. Karrion Kross is laughing his ass off. Apparently, he just wants to get everybody. It's just a guy that's spies on people from afar and tries to alter their personalities into something else. I don't know what it is. So Kathy Kelly is backstage with Gunther and Kaiser. She mentions that Sami Zayn got under his skin, and there's a title match next week. In the background, we can see Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day arguing. Braun Breaker walks up to Gunther. Breaker says he just wanted to see Gunther for himself, and Gunther says he really is a badass. Breaker says he'll see sooner than he thinks. And that's it. So anyway, Gunther and Sami Zayn will not be at the pay-per-view. I thought it would be a match taking place on the show. It's actually not taking place. The world title match will be happening next week on Raw. So there you go. Bronson Reed makes his way to the ring. We get our final match. And it's Reed versus Braun Strowman. As I already mentioned, this match was a long matchup. Very good matchup, by the way. This guys tore the shit out of the entire arena. They brought the fucking arena down. This was a hell of a main event. You could have excluded the ring breaking and kept that out of the match. It would have been fine anyway. They didn't have to do this. This was aesthetics, I guess you could say, to make it more entertaining to some people that may have never seen this before. But yeah, this was a great match, though. It was a fucking barn burner of a match. It felt like I was watching an old school Raw is War show or something like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. Very enjoyable matchup. And Seth Rollins coming in at the end was fucking awesome. I was hoping for Bronson Reed to win, but it made sense. And it only made Bronson Reed look better even in defeat. Just implementing him into a storyline with someone as notable as Seth Rollins is a great setup for him. I hope he gets a W out of this matchup that they have at least once. They have like 2 or 3 matches in a row. I'd be fine with him at least winning one of them. But Bronson Reed being placed up against Seth Rollins is a great move. And Matt 87 Eagle says, bye-bye 3 hours of Raw. Yes, I absolutely agree. It'll be nice to be able to do these reviews at 10 o'clock at night, get them done and over with, and be finished with it completely. So that'll be very enjoyable to do. But yeah, this main event, awesome fucking match. Bronson Reed was great. Braun Strowman had some struggles in this matchup. I don't know if it's his knees, his hips, something. He was not moving around like he normally does. He was having a really hard time moving around in the ring. And yeah, I just think Braun Strowman might need some time off, maybe need some surgery done. Something he didn't look right in this match. He didn't move around very well. But this match helped him in a sense that even though he was looking like his knees were messed up, it still helped him because of his strength and everything. So he was able to coast by in this match, despite the fact of not moving around at full strength. So I got to give Braun Strowman a lot of credit. He also leaped off the top rope, landed on top of some people. I mean, this shit was just fucking insane. I mean, literally fucking insane. The guy is absolutely nuts. But yeah, Braun Strowman did great in this match. Bronson Reed was amazing. These guys deserve every bit of credit. They've made Monday Night Raw the most entertaining show. They're the most entertaining portion of the show out of everything. I mean, Braun Breaker has done good. Jey Uso and Braun Breaker last week was great for the IC title. I mean, there's been some really good, entertaining stuff taking place on Monday Night Raw. And to be quite frank with you, I think that Raw at 3 hours and the way it's been produced, I actually wouldn't have had a problem with it continuing at 3 hours. I mean, shit, we're getting SmackDown at 3 hours. Why not keep SmackDown at 2 and Raw at 3? I mean, granted, it's Monday night. We got work the next day for most of us who actually have a job. We're not a bunch of bums living off people. Hope none of you guys are actually doing that. And if you are, quit it. But yeah, I've been enjoying Raws. Raw episodes have been amazing. And SmackDown, on the other hand, it's like hit and miss. Most of the time, it's just there. It's like really no effort. It's reverting back to where Raw was the more focal point of storyline. SmackDown was just throw some matches together, blah, 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 2 hours, goodbye. There you go. Done and over with. Basically is the mentality back in the day. Except for the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. But once we got into like 2014 or so, that's when SmackDown kind of was a downgraded minor show. It wasn't even really looked upon as the same equivalent of a Monday Night Raw show. But yeah, my personal opinion, again, Raw was a great show, fun, entertaining shit, and I just enjoyed what they delivered here. Very good stuff overall. If you guys missed anything, by all means, go back, watch the rest of the review. See that there was a few of you that showed up near the end of this. So I greatly appreciate you guys coming in. If you enjoyed the video, by all means, hit the like button. I'm going to let me read this last mention. Matt 87 Eagle says, I hope those Planet fans were paid well for that stunt. Me too. Because that was pretty fucking crazy. Having that big ass dude falling on top of him. But yeah. Anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.